back. We've been enjoying ourselves in the studio, exchanging words and bantering about how people have been cheated, but be that as it may, that will be not for their own consumption. What us to know about is that indeed the civil society have contributed a lot towards political development in this country, and that's where you should come in. Their contribution is for you to take advantage of it and come in and ensure that you sell your vote. That's the whole essence of all this our work. Coming here every Saturday is because we want you to be better informed about decisions that you take when the election time comes. No vote selling. The politicians, the political class have an antecedent. Those of them that have done well, you run with them. Those of them that have not done well, you discard them. It is not time for playing pranks on the people. And to me, it is it is by your fruits that you should relate with them. Dan, look so.
Not so.
Not so. So let us go. By their fruits, what are the fruits of these leaders? What are their fruits that we should relate with them? Because what we know is that most of them, their fruit is just deceit and pain unleashed on the people. Then when it's the eve of the election, they now come sharing tokenism or tokens. Is that how it should be?
Mr. Wale, I was lucky. I briefly had an assignment with Governor Hakim. Hakim last 6 months. You know, I followed him to all his campaigns, campaigns in Imo State. I was following him. That time, when the present Imo State governor was a senator. Okay. So he was also part of the campaign. And I had the opportunity of being in the houses of so many of our past leaders. I was in the house of Chief Sam Mbakwe, the former governor of Peace and Trust.
The working governor?
Yeah, the working governor. And you can see Mbakwe's house may not be bigger than this studio that. You can see a very little, big compound. You can see a very little house. I think there was a little story building they were building in the front. I learned it, I think his son, Alex, that was building that one. What I'm saying, you can see the model house the man was building. The governor of Peace and Trust. I've been to the house of K.O. Mbadiwe. He was a man of timber and caliber. With all his, they will say, a man of political plenipotentiary politics. When I saw, I think it was a one-story building, very simple. You just enter a very small cup, I can see his grave and the wife. You just enter, I see the grave and the wife. I have been to the house of former military president, Agui Ironsi. You see a very little house the man had. I have been to the house of Michael Okpara in Umuahia, his son, because I think his son was the chairman of PDP. He went for one assignment. You can see a very modern house. What I'm saying, the primitive, acquisitive instinct was not in them. They were selfless in their service. But once we have today, I don't know, they are too greedy. And they are selfish. And that's the problem. And the one we have today, they have pauperized Nigerians. I don't know if they are happy the way. When I was in Maiduguri, first time I was in Maiduguri was in 1982. My brother was the personnel manager with NITEL in Maiduguri. We are living around Gomare. We are used to Maiduguri. Just come down from the airport. Yes. During, I can remember during the Muslim Adha also. In fact, we could not contain the type of meat they were bringing to our house. As at that time, you can see, those malams, you see decency, you see peace everywhere. When they will come and be giving us meat, some cooked one, some uncooked one, you see that has a bash that with their wives and everything. But they related with us very well. But when I recall what happened then and what is happening now, you find that there is this divisive agenda. The politicians have ethnicized Nigerians. You are now, I don't have any problem with a malam that is selling a tomato. I go to my 12, you see them there, you buy carrots, you buy tomatoes, all of you are happy with them. But immediately it comes into election, These politicians have a way of now begin to tell you this one is an Hausa man, this one is a Muslim, this one is an Igbo, this one is a Yoruba. And that is a problem. And our people are also buying through it. And since they have also popularized Nigeria, in a country where you have more than 130 million Nigerians, facing sophisticated poverty. Nigerians are hungry. Poverty that is angry in your stomach. In fact, an average Nigerian has become sellable because everything has a price.
Okay.
You have to have faith.
No, but let us look at it. In as much as poverty and hunger has come in, doesn't mean that we must have a price that you will not be able to say no, all of us.
No.
Is that not now going against the principle that Plato about the moral aspect of our life, falling and going to decadence?
That is where political education comes in. You need to, the what we have now, the masses that we have now, you need to speak hope into them. You need to, that's where political education comes in. When you now begin to tell them, you see, you already now go for, like what is happening now. You now tell them, okay, it's like what we're having now is like what happened in the Bible. Your father chastised us with whips, and will chastise you with scorpion. The other former one, you were saying that, okay, he was not even doing well. And the one you have now is even, scattering everywhere. And one thing about politics is that there is something that they said, even when there is a devil, the devil has an apostle.
Yes.
Even when somebody is defending, you see people clapping.
Yes.
There are a lot of attack dots.
Yes.
Maybe you say this person is not doing well.
Yes.
So that is a part of the problem that we have. But what I'm saying is that despite all that, the civil society must, of course, they are insisting. It is places, of course,
That's the question I want to ask now. The work of the attack dogs. Will that deter civil societies from doing their job? Because the civil society, including the press, we are the fourth estate of the realm. Ours is to be those in government accountable. Ours is to ensure that we shape the political climate for it to be better for all of us, bringing into what my brother brought us to the politics 202 about Plato. I like that one very well. If there is no justice in the land, and of course we see morals being the beast, you are going there, maybe I will take you back there, then we'll now end up with Ishaya. The first set of political leaders that we had, they were selfless. You kept mentioning the names of those from the East that you interacted with. I know the Jacondes that you went with. His house is in Lupeju there. It's still there. Very small upstairs. And it's a free place for everybody who is aggrieved. Even as governor of Lagos State, I still have a vivid remembrance of his Toyota Crown that he was riding all around then as governor of the state. No talk of Obafemi Awolowo, not to talk of all these other big men, particularly the first Republic politicians. What was his name? There is I remember the name too, but again, the Sardauna and Ezekiel himself, Aminu Kano, and Balarabe Musa were in the trenches together till maybe 10 years ago or so when he died. Balarabe Musa, and of course another person who is playing the role of Balarabe Musa now is Shehu Sani. Right. So we find out that these people have no issue of greed, as you said, greed, acquiring all. So what is there no way that the voters can retire such people by denying them their votes? Because to me they are powerful, or they say that they can muster political significance because they've been leading their so-called followers by the nose and not delivering. How is it that you capture state power and use it for your own benefit, leaving your followers in the lurch? Why, my brother, were done?
It's a problem. And that's why I'm not campaigning for anyone. But if you look at, let me bring the instance of this people. If he says something, he will tell you, check the records. He will tell you something, say, when I was there, see what I did.
I won't want us to go to bitter piece issue because most of the issues that he has raised, facts have found out that most of them are polished. They are not true. And I don't want us to go there. I don't want to go there. Let's just hit what we are saying because so that we don't damage his reputation here. I don't want to. I don't want to damage his reputation.
I remember we were in the home of the late Ayo Adibande, and said something that popped in my head. A long time. Yeah, I think we're together. It's for you to function as an opposition, to be financially independent. You must be financially
independent.
Go and provide all the people holding the power. Who among them was financially independent before they
got the office?
So some people could present very ideal persona that we all love. But if you are not financially independent, you will be corrupted by power. The moment they put you in position, you compromise yourself, you compromise that office. Many civil society leaders, many media managers, by all customers, have also been corrupted by this power. Because of what? Now, it is impossible for somebody who is financially independent to go and become an employee, of course. So, but you must have the basic integrity to know where to draw the line. As a journalist, if I'm investigating you, I don't get clues. I just published an investigative report recently. And the person I was to speak with to tell his own side of the story. After calling and I realized all the issues in the story, he told me, meet me tomorrow at so-and-so hotel. I don't want to mention the name for free advert. At so-and-so hotel. He told me, I apologize. These issues can be discussed on the phone. He says, no, I don't know you. How do I answer questions from a journalist that I don't know?
But there are facts that you know about.
But you could verify my identity. It could be. Because there are two things that will happen. If you go to see two things. One, they try to use you. And they give you rare access. Because most humans want rare access. They give you certain facts and information about the institution you are probing that you didn't know that people didn't know. And you begin to sympathize with even the person that you are supposed to prove. And it happens even kidnapped victims sympathize with the abductor sometimes. Yeah. Because when they get in close proximity and the abductors are saying, oh, we're getting into this business because I've been a graduate 20 years, my mom is dead, my dad has cancer. You begin to sympathize with them. So, to avoid being compromised, there has to be a line that is drawn. I don't get close. We are too close to power. Journalists, civil society. In fact, some civil CSOs are registered by this politicians.
Yes, ma'am.
And then they appoint the people that manage them. So that when today they are probing one governor, you will find 20 CSOs coming to a press conference. And then they will be saying, no, that man is one of the best. I mean, wondering, what is your job as CSO? Is it to go there and be defending people? The man should go to court and defend himself there. They shouldn't call journalists and be talking. And because people have become pauperized and they have no limit to which they can go in protecting their integrity. They come, they take money and then they do all kinds of things. So we must embody, if we want to fix the system, we must look for, there's power in one man. We keep saying that, look, Nigeria is this, one man cannot, there's power in one man. We saw it in Jakone.
A visionary leader.
Yes. Can bring it in Jakone. We don't need a leader that is an economist, that is knows everything about the economy, or that is a public administrator. I mean, that's not what we're talking about.
I agree with you.
We're saying that we need a leader who embodies the quality of wisdom, of reason, of justice.
I agree with you. I really agree with you. And I'll cite NAFDAC, the late Dora. That is an example of leadership. Taking of one person, and even a woman. Maybe the cliche, what a man cannot do, a woman can do better. I'm an advocate of women's lead anyway, but where am I going? Dora took NAFDAC from obscurity to the best brand in Nigeria. And I think that should be something for us to chew on. And again, I appreciate the issues that we have raised today because they will give us...
the man in the Standard Organization of Nigeria, nobody knows the man. His son is okay. I can't even remember his first name. You need to go and see the transformation.
Yes, I wanted to mention that too. There are people who are pushing and making one man, one woman are the people we need in this country to make changes. And that's where you watching us today comes in. You too should be that man. But before we round up, your closing remarks.
I think, no matter what we say about the constitution, we need an electoral process that will count. Because why most of our politicians, our leaders are taking us for granted is because they know that likely by the time you vote, that your vote does not really count. If we had a type of a system where you vote and it reflects that you are voting.
We are working on that. We are working on that seriously. You can be sure. Voters awareness. Just a minute. Let me just round up. Voters awareness is working on this issue seriously. The vote has started counting. It was not like before, but we are plugging all those loopholes that the political class takes advantage of, and that's why we are sustaining and will continue to sustain this program and ensuring that people are involved in the electoral process, because the politician takes advantage of the very few number of people involved in the electoral process to do whatever they want to do. But when it is now more, like the principle now will be the more, the merrier. So we are going to that, we'll work on that. Isha, your own last shot. I've been telling you, no call. No, the call there is no call. This is not for call. We have already told you. SMS, those who have been calling you are just wasting your time. I will not pick your call. It is messages that I expect from you. More than 10 people have been calling. I don't have time. It is not for call. This program is essentially for SMS, not calls. Please take notice.
Okay, in addition to having sound electoral system that guarantees that the vote counts, we also need to have a functional political structure.
Yes.
Just the way you have APC extremely strong with about 24 governors and almost 70 senators out of 109, leaving less than 39 for
the others to be struggling with.
We need a very viable opposition. And that is why, unlike what many people dismiss ADC, I'm not advocating for ADC because I wanted to remove Tinubu. No, that's not the point. The point is people must have choice.
Yes.
If you take away choice from anybody, you've taken away
democracy.
As it stands today, the PDP have so many interconnection with the APC. So you cannot say that you have a choice in your situation as it stands. So Nigeria has 120,000 polling, over 120,000 polling units. If you don't have a very strong political party that can muster enough resources to have agents in all the polling units across the country, you are not competing in an election. Even in the last local government election in Lagos, the PDP could not field all the various candidates in the chairmanship race. They couldn't fill up. I mean, in the councillorship, they couldn't fill up all, because there are certain places that they are limited in terms of resources. That is why we need bigger platforms that could compete with this.
Okay. I guess that's a safe point to rest today's program. And to me, it is wonderful. It has been an interesting engagement. We've had several, and the most interesting thing to me is my going back through this morning. And I'm happy that my brother, the lecturer, has brought me, giving me some insight about what I've forgotten about Plato. And that lesson, which I took more than 30 years or 40 years ago, now came back indeed. That if there's no justice, if there's no morals, obviously there can't be justice. And if there's no justice, there can't be peace. There can't be peace. And the other day, Peter Tosh sang a song. Everyone is crying for justice. And everyone is crying for peace. Nobody is crying for justice. Without justice, there can't be peace. There is no way. So, you are crying for peace. You want to cow down those who are protesting that their money has not been paid. What of the justice of the matter? Pay them their money. They have suffered. Instead of collecting 100,000, for example, they were paid 85,000. And of course, the 15%, they are looking to that when they eventually get retired, they will be given that money. You didn't give them. You tell them, go and sit down. Because you're in power and you're in government. No. Things are not done that way, because whatever goes round comes round. It will be your turn tomorrow. And I don't think you two would like to be given that short end of his stick. Be that as it may, equally we've looked at the political system vis-a-vis civil societies. And I like how my people rounded it up today, that there must be a conscientious effort by you, the voter, to be involved in promoting politics and democracy by engaging those who are our political leaders to ensuring that they give us dividend of democracy and political structure and political parties. Are you serious about contesting election, or you just want to be pretenders and not contenders? We want you to take this home as we wrap up to this meeting. I want to really thank our guests, Mr. Ishaya Ibrahim, the original Dan Kano. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate your insight today. And we know that when next we call you, you will honor us. On behalf of the management and my producer, Mr. Temsley Majai, and of course the president of this organization, Chief Steve Ojo, I want to thank every one of you, including our engineers, cameramen, and those who have made this thing happen. I want to thank you all for a wonderful show. Until next week, don't be against the law. Thank you.